Right, hello, welcome. Actually, I just realised I've left my drink downstairs. I'll go and get it in a minute. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I just realised my mic is definitely do that. Uh, yes, welcome to the stream, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It has been quite a day of football. We've already seen Liverpool beat Brentford 3-0. West Ham beat who was it now? Nottingham Forest 3-2 in a game that I mostly watched, apart from being slightly asleep for some of it. And then who was the other team? I think Brighton drew with Sheffield United. Really battling point for Sheffield United, getting back to 1-1, and Villa beat Fulham 3-1. So, looking at the table, we'll talk about the game in a minute that's about to happen, but the table hasn't changed a great deal. Big movers, Liverpool up to second, kind of inevitable, really. I thought, actually, to be honest, Brentford let themselves down a little bit because they were not really at it. I don't think in this game they really weren't at it at all, which is a bit of a shame, really. Not a massive fan of how Brentford ended up playing in that game. They just didn't take their chances, and Liverpool did, which means Arsenal and Tottenham dropped down to third and fourth, respectively. The Villa move up to fifth. Well, it's more or less stay fifth with that win, but it does mean that they are actually only at the moment 1 point off the top. Well, sorry, 2 points off the top of the table, which is crazy. But they're doing really well. Man United staying in sixth, and then Newcastle, Brighton, and so on. And it does also mean that with the results yesterday, with Bournemouth winning, Sheffield United got a point which lifts them off the bottom, which means Burnley are now bottom of the league, which makes sense, I think. But it's Luton, Sheffield United, and Burnley in the relegation zone. Now it's a bit ominous. Okay, moving on to today's game, we've got three. I just realised actually. I think I'm just gonna turn my mic up just a tiny little bit. There you go. So we've got an interesting lineup from both teams. A very, very strong team. This is always the last game before the international break, so you'd expect both teams to go fairly strong here, and it is a big game. Sanchez in goal for Chelsea, then Disasi, Cucurella, Thiago Silva, and Reece James. Raheem Sterling, Enzo, Cole Palmer, Conor Gallagher, sorry, and Moises Caicedo in the midfield, with Nicholas Jackson up front, who scored the hat-trick against Spurs. And then we've got Edison in goal for City, with Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Guardiola, Akanji at the back, and then Doku plays instead of Grealish, which has been a bit of a talking point, I think, for a lot of people talking about this game. And then we've got Rodrigo, Julian Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, and Erling Haaland. Interesting to see Phil Foden play. I do think that may be a bit of... I'm not absolutely sure who else would probably play in that position. I suppose that's the point, is there isn't really any. They've got two goalkeepers on the bench as well of City. So as much as people have been talking about this famed depth that Man City have, I'm not sure exactly. But why have I got that email? That email about... okay. Right, so it's obviously a big game for both teams. And I think for Chelsea, if they can win this game, I say if, it's a really big if, but if they could win this game, it suddenly changes the conversation around Chelsea from potentially being pushing towards the top four to saying actually they are in a title race. Let's just have a look at the table again quickly, because we want to see what difference it could make putting Chelsea winning this game, because I think it could make a big difference. Chelsea at the moment are 11th, bottom half of the table again, where they will stay if they lose. They'd have to lose by like 9 goals to lose any position, so they won't do that. But if they win, they go up to ninth, which is a bit disappointing, really. But I think it's got more significance than that. If they can beat this Man City team, I mean, amazing. I don't see it. Obviously, I don't think anyone watching this game is seeing a Chelsea win here. If Chelsea can get a point at home to City, I think that's an amazing result. Bear in mind, though, City have lost twice away already this season. They've lost away at Arsenal, they've lost away at Wolves. So it is possible to beat this City team, but I do think they've got to be quite disruptive in how they play. Um, so, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. With that, though, I'm just going to go and get a drink because I've had a headache all day and I really need to keep myself hydrated. Always keep yourself hydrated. And I do also, before I leave, I was going to say, I do have the chats open for both YouTube and Twitch on my stream now. So you guys can't see them, but I can. So if anyone does get in touch, then I will be able to respond straight away this time. So I'll be back in a minute. Right. Oh, right then, how is everyone doing? I hope we're doing okay. Very busy day today, so I'll be glad for the sleep when it comes later tonight, definitely. But yeah, enjoyed keeping up. I was tell you what I was surprised about yesterday. Um, Bournemouth beating Newcastle. Absolutely crazy result. Um, Obviously Newcastle have got a lot of injuries, but I thought we'd kind of gotten over. Um, I thought we'd kind of gotten over the whole like injuries are an excuse kind of thing with the way that the Premier League um, plays its football these days. I think the thing that people throw back at teams who say that injuries have ruined our team is that you should have a squad that's big enough to deal with injuries. I mean, having an injury crisis is one thing. I don't think it's quite that for Newcastle because they've got a lot of players out for different reasons. I mean, if you look at their who was it now? The midfield Tonali, who's out on betting charges. Like that, that's got nothing to do with. It's got absolutely nothing to do with uh, with the with the stuff that people would have talked about in terms of actual injuries. It's nothing to do with City. It's literally just the player's own misbehaviour. And if you can't deal with that, um, it's just silly, really. I think, and obviously you can't legislate for that as a club, but what you can do is you can look into the player's character and what they do outside of football and make the choices that way. Arsenal have made similar kinds of decisions um, outside of uh, outside of their club or players that they could potentially sign. I remember I'm pretty sure one of the reasons why they didn't go and sign Madison was injury record, but also his behaviour off the pitch as well. Sometimes hasn't been perfect. I think Sterling was a similar kind of thing way back when we potentially could have signed him. I think the club had doubts about his behaviour. Who else was it now? It's amazing actually that we actually went for Luis Suarez back when he was at Liverpool because I think Arsenal obviously knew about his past. I think if anything that was a desperate move, but I think looking back at it, they probably feel like they might have gotten away with one having not taken him on. Because if you think Liverpool, I think Liverpool did really well to protect him given everything that he did. But I don't think he would have got the same protection at Arsenal. I think he probably would have ended up leaving. So there you go. And also, if you look at players at Arsenal at the moment, or ex-Arsenal like Xhaka and now Havertz, the amount of black that individual players can take at Arsenal does mean that you've got to choose really wisely how much of a risk do you take on to the team. I've never, yeah. So I don't think, going back to Newcastle, I don't think they can necessarily say they're in a proper injury crisis. But looking at their team, I mean, if you look at their team, in fact, I can pull it up on here. Where are you now? So the Newcastle team that played away at Bournemouth, Pope, Trippier, Shah, Lascelles. I don't think Lascelles normally plays. I think there's another Botman. Botman would probably play instead of Lascelles. Lewis Hall definitely doesn't normally play at left back. But then Dan Burn, Livramento. It's still a bit of a threadbare squad. It's definitely not. It's amazing actually that Eddie Howe managed to get to the top four, but I do think a lot of that was down to the lack of European football last season. Joe Willock, Longstaff, and Miley, and then Joe Linton, Gordon, and Almiron up front. Missing players like, I'm not a huge fan of the. There's some players I'm not a massive fan of, but I think losing Isak, obviously they didn't have Guimaraes in that team. There's a few players in there. Apparently there's a stat out there that if whenever Newcastle haven't played with Guimaraes in the Premier League since he came to the Premier League, they've not won, I don't think. They've lost or drawn at every single one of those games. So that might make a big difference. But I just think they aren't going to be able to do football in the intense way that they did before, whilst playing 3 games a week. I just don't think it's possible. And this, especially this week just gone, they've just played Arsenal and they probably put the most effort into that Arsenal game, and then they've suffered against Dortmund and against Bournemouth. And I think it feels rubbish as an Arsenal fan. You end up taking it that, to be fair. If you're one of the best teams in the league, you should expect teams to play out from the back and get that. Hello, Draco. Welcome to the stream. We are watching not Newcastle. I was just talking about Newcastle, but we are watching the Chelsea Man City game. Let's just get the lineups back again. And this is the last game before the international break as well. So I won't be streaming again. I won't be streaming again until like 2 weeks yesterday, unfortunately. If I think of something I can do between now and then, something over the next weekend, maybe I might do it. Maybe talk a little bit about Arsenal, but I don't know. But yeah, it's going well. Thanks, Draco. The game hasn't started yet. I say that. I'm pretty sure it hasn't. It's 4:29 at the moment, so they're just playing the last post at the moment. Of course, condolences to anyone who has lost a loved one through war and the people giving up their lives. I think it's for me, this is such a special weekend to remember people who have made that sacrifice. And I've got relatives, admittedly quite a long way away, but relatives who have fought in wars, and it's some of the tragedies that you see in those events is horrible. But yeah, to be able to remember them in this way every year, it's fantastic. We could watch some international games. I just don't know what. I think I'm trying to think what games would be. I think Wales haven't qualified yet, so that's a game that I could potentially do, but I need to really look into it and kind of figure that out. I don't know what other permutations are still up there in terms of getting into the Euros. My personal opinion on the Euros, as it stands at the moment, is pretty. It's not great. Let's just say I don't think the tournament really probably starts until we get to the summer next year. I think mainly because the amount of teams that are in the tournament, it's so big now. I think was it 24 teams, so there's a lot of teams. Like Scotland should be qualifying, and they have qualified. Wales, I think, should be qualifying every time as well, and I don't think they have yet. Even Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, really ought to be qualifying because I think they're inside that kind of bracket of 50 best teams in Europe. So, yeah, I think the element of surprise from the qualification campaign is kind of gone. That when I don't know if you remember when Steve McLaren, if you're old enough to have watched football back then, when Steve McLaren managed England back in 2008, we failed to qualify for that tournament. Obviously, you had to be one of the best 16 teams in Europe at the time to qualify, but um, but back then we were just not very good. The team was good, but the manager was an absolute dunce. So there you go. It was pretty shocking. So have you actually? Oh, you've already followed Draco. Cool. Good to see you. This isn't obviously the same channel that you probably followed however many years ago. 2018. 4 years ago. Wow. 5 years ago. I can't count. There you go. But yeah, we're watching games, and I actually forgot to change my go live notification as well. Oops. Oh well, I need to remember to do that's like should be on my checklist before I stream every time. Here we go. We're about to start the game. I think we might be a couple of minutes late. My stream might be a couple of minutes late. Yeah, it probably is. But yeah, it's what was I saying? Yeah, so I think the jeopardy of the European Championship qualifiers has absolutely been lost. But it's a good day out. But it's kind of akin to like FA Cup qualifiers. Chelsea could be in here. They've got Nicholas Jackson coming in. That's a nice ball. Out to the right hand side. Reece James takes the shot, but well blocked by City. Tell you what, if this is a sign to come, I think we could be in for a really, really exciting game. Because City were attacking and then they just left so much space in the midfield, and Chelsea were able to play through it really, really quickly. What was I saying? Yeah, so the jeopardy's kind of gone. So it's more akin to like FA Cup qualifiers or FA Cup early rounds where you get lower league teams beating the fancy Premier League teams, and those games could be a lot more. They're interesting, but not in terms of quality. I mean, if you watch the World Cup from 2000 last year's World Cup, the quality didn't really show itself until kind of towards the quarterfinals onwards, especially when England played France. That was the first game that I thought, oh gosh, these are like two absolute top teams going at each other. And I would expect a similar kind of thing. England and France are going to be. Oh, Chelsea could be a well done Walker. Chelsea in again there. England and France are going to be the two best teams in that Euros. I don't think there's anyone else. Portugal and Spain could potentially threaten. You've got to be careful here, Edison. Oh, goodness me, you've got it out just about. I think is that Guardiola? I think that's Guardiola playing at left back. Pep Guardiola made a comment in the press conference, I think, saying that this. Oh dear, is he just giving that to Haaland? Oh. Goodness me. They've said that the what was I saying there? Yeah, so Pep was saying that Guardiola couldn't play at centre back because he doesn't quite know yet how to do that for this team. I don't know what he could possibly little dear Doku might get onto this. Playing away actually for the first time. I don't remember him playing away from home that much this season. Grealish has usually taken the away games, so that's lucky. Cole Palmer gets in the tackle, and it's going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. I think I don't know what else could you learn playing centre back for City. Like, you play the ball out from the back, but if you're playing left back, surely yes, positionally it's different, but I don't know. I just don't think it's massively different at all. Really, I don't get that excuse. I think he's really covering for the fact that he just doesn't think that Guardiola is as good as his current centre back pairing, which is Akanji and Diaz. So that's fair enough to just come out and say that though. I think, or maybe don't come out and say that, but maybe say like, put it down to performances aren't as good as the people who are there at the moment. I'd just say that. Don't don't kind of shove us or like put us off by saying stuff elsewhere. It's silly. Foden's just been fouled, I think, by Cucurella there. So we might watch some international games. I might have a look at that at half time and just look at the international games. Don't tell me he's gonna. Oh, okay. Thought they were gonna look at a red card for a second there. Do you, if you're still there, Draco? Do you support either of these teams? I'm an Arsenal fan, if you didn't already know, so I don't really have much of a horse in this race. Obviously, it would be fun to watch City lose again away from home, but I just don't. I don't have any kind of hope for that. So really, what I'm hoping for is just a good game today. Really, Chelsea have kept that in there. That's nice. City trying to initiate the press, and I think that's turned out to be a Chelsea foul. But no. Referee plays on. Sterling's coming on the inside here. Nice ball to Cucurella. Well cleared by Foden, and it's going to be a corner. Yeah, as I said, I don't have much of a horse in this race. Having said that, I think if City lose this game, it opens up the title race massively because then you've got like four teams. There are about four, maybe five if you include Villa, because Villa are only 2 points off of City at the top, and it means that Arsenal as well will have a similar record to City, the same amount of points as City and Liverpool. So we could, if things keep going the way they are, and for the record, I think today Liverpool were gifted 3 points by Brentford. I think that they were, and that might sound like sour grapes, but they just weren't at it. Here we go. City have played in behind here. Alvarez trying to play into Haaland, but it's blocked. I think they were gifted 3 points by Brentford today. It just sounded like Brentford. I didn't watch the game, but when I was listening to it, Brentford had a few chances, and they've been threatening on the break so many times when I've watched them play away from home. Sterling trying to play it into Jackson. That's a flick which has gone absolutely nowhere. That's going to be a foul on Doku. No, it's not. Like referee's playing on Haaland. Playing it wide to Bernardo Silva. It does look like City are counter-attacking with predominantly a front four. Well, that tends to be it, really. I don't think there's much else to it. They've... Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it, Draco. That's fine. Feel free to have a listen. Enjoy the game with me. But yeah, this is yeah. I think, what was I even talking about there? I'm trying to remember now. Oh, yeah, attacking with the front four, City. And I think that, given that I think Chelsea have set up a game where they will want it to be transitional. So playing back to front, back to front, back to front as much as possible. And I don't think they're going to win that battle, let's be fair. But that seems to be what they want to do. But if City were to lose today, it sets up a great title race. Obviously, it puts Chelsea, at least mentally, in a better position, if not in the table. Because in the table, they're still miles off it at the moment. I think the referee's trying to sort out stuff here in the penalty area from a corner, a City corner, and there's a lot of jostling going on. Disasi's been pushed around by Diaz. Disasi's just had a go at Diaz's head, and a City player's gone, I think Akanji's gone down there. Sterling's tried to nick the ball off Doku, and he does end up doing so. Gets it through. Jackson could be in on goal here, but I'd expect Walker might be. Oh, yeah, see, Walker's just such a good defender, man. He's so good. That was not a good ball by Edison, but City keep it. It looked like for a second that Walker might be down for pace there, but he managed to defend it really well. And this is where I think City. I remember watching last season. That was a terrible ball, that though. Bernardo Silva couldn't control it. Watching last season, the amount of times that Walker would win Man City games just because of the way he could cover behind on wingers, I think, yeah, it means that you can't just sit back and expect to beat City on the counter like you may have done in years gone by. This year and last year and the year before that, I think they're set up so well to dominate games and have good pace in behind that they're never, ever, ever going to get beaten like that unless there's a terrible mistake at the back. So if Chelsea come out and win this game now off of counter attacks, fair enough. But I just don't see how that happens. The only thing I would say counter to that is that if you look at Chelsea's front line with Sterling, Jackson, and Palmer on the right, that ball's not going to quite reach Foden there. If you look at those three, they are quite pacey. So maybe they could get in behind here, but I don't think that's how it's going to happen for Chelsea. I think if they're going to win this game, it's going to come through trying to just monopolise the ball, play the ball upfield, and yeah, there's Chelsea just been kind of pushed out of it. The aggression of the City press is starting to really step up now. We're about 10 minutes in, and I think they've started to initiate a bit more of a game plan here. Careful here. That's gone almost straight to City. Haaland's kept it. Foden's just been pushed wide. It's going to be a City throw. It's a massive. I think this is going to be quite difficult for Chelsea if they allow City to push them back like this and don't end up finding a way out. It's going to be quite difficult. Foden in the area plays it out to Guardiola. Now Doku comes inside. Oh, that was a good chance. See the simple ball and behind again. It's going to be simple. That's going to be meat and drink for a player like Walker, who's just sat back there waiting. I think it was Walker. Oh no, it was Kanji. You got a Kanji as well, who's also quite fast. So it's from a tactical point of view, you got to look at the City team as a Chelsea manager or fan or player, and you think, how on earth can you get back into this game? Well, not back into this game. How can you tactically get a foothold in this game? Careful, Walker, but Sterling's not getting there. Sterling's an interesting one as well, because I wonder how, admittedly they don't play in the same area of the pitch, but how does Sterling not get in the England squad, and Calvin Phillips does get in the England squad, but Calvin Phillips has not played, he's not playing today, and I'd be really surprised. City would have to be 3 or 4-0 up before they bring on Calvin Phillips in this game, and that's me assuming that Calvin Phillips is actually in the team, in the squad for today. He is. Okay. Sanchez. I criticised Sanchez's distribution quite a lot. That's a nice check. Here we go. Chelsea on the break. Cole Palmer on the right hand side. Might play it back to. He's deciding what to do. It's blocked again, and that might be offside. Nope. Gallagher flicks it in. That's interesting. What's he doing there? Goodness me, that was brave from Akanji. Heads it back, and the goalkeeper does take it, but only just. Or was it Rodrigo? I think it might have been Rodrigo. It's another block from Akanji. It's the second time that Cole Palmer's gone in on the right-hand side, and then he's just looked at Akanji, tried to take the shot on, and has just shot straight at him. He needs to be cleverer than just right, I'm going to have a go at shooting from here. Unless you can guarantee it's going to go on target. I don't think, and it's going to get past him. I just don't think it's worth it. I'm just going to check to see if the stats are working. Kind of. There's a bit of it missing, but I'm going to just check that. There you go. That's better. So yeah, it's actually City haven't had a lot of possession. Surprisingly, 62% possession for Chelsea. Not bad. 58 passes. I don't think that'll stay the same for long. I've got to say, City have been. Although to be fair, I think if you look at threat, if you're looking at just plain threat, um, look at that. City's last 6 results against Chelsea, they haven't conceded a goal, let alone lost any points. They've won every single one of those games. Gallagher just fighting for the ball in the midfield, but not getting it. It's interesting to see how. I mean, I don't think City are doing any kind of natural inverted fullback stuff. Um, I don't think they're doing any of that. You've got Walker's going far out wide. Is it Akanji? It is. Akanji's kind of okay. So it's not quite invert. It's more like inverted centre back. So Akanji's pushing up to join Rodrigo in the midfield, and this is one thing I absolutely love about watching football these days. Is just looking at how the formations change when a team's in possession. Doku against James puts the ball in the box, but pretty straightforward clearance for Chelsea. Yeah, so they've got Rodrigo and Akanji playing in the defensive midfield roles, with Walker sometimes overlapping on the right hand side, and the same with Guardiol on the left hand side, and then Diaz just holding that middle point, which does kind of make you think if they can get Diaz against Jackson, I think there's only one winner there in terms of pace. But the question is whether he can get free of him from a physical point of view. I just don't think that will happen. Akanji running through the middle. He gets a free kick. 15 minutes gone. Chelsea will be happy. They'll be happy. Somehow, have they still got the same amount of possession? No. See, there you go. It's changed. 55% chance for City. It is free kick to City. This is about, 50, 60 yards out. Bernardo Silva is taking it quickly on the right hand side, on the left hand side, sorry. I'm going to play this out here. Rodrigo gives it to Alvarez, who takes a shot, but that's blocked by Cucurella. That was a little bit easy, got to say. As soon as Rodrigo starts stepping into those positions, I get concerned for anyone who plays against them, because that's a lot of space for a player who is really quite struggling, I think. So, what am I talking about? For a player who's that good at distributing the ball, he's too good on the ball for you to allow him that kind of space. That's a far post header. Oof. Pretty easy in the end. I'm not actually sure. Is that Bernardo? Oh, is that Gvardiol? Might have been Gvardiol. Yeah, taking a long header. Enzo Fernandez just trying to play his way out of trouble here. Reece James. Chelsea just trying to play out from the back here, and I have a feeling City are going to just press them out of it, especially if Sanchez is going to take touches like that. That's awful. This is the thing. I had exactly the same problems with it when they were playing Spurs. As good as obviously they won against Spurs, but I think I personally had a lot of problems with the way that Chelsea just weren't that clinical in that game, and you could see problems in their build-up from the beginning of the game. Never mind when they were playing against 9 men, and Sanchez was probably one of the big reasons why. And I don't know whether if Chelsea fans are watching this, do you know if the club are in for another goalkeeper or not? Because I think it's not as I think it's worse than the situation at Arsenal, where we've got 2 pretty good goalkeepers, and I'd say they're both pretty good at the distribution side. Chelsea don't have anyone who's that good at it. Sanchez is confident, but I just don't think he's that good at it. Really, a little bit too confident. Sterling. That's a nice play from Chelsea, playing that about, but it's going to end up at the back again. And this is where I just don't think. That's an interesting touch from James. He does end up keeping it. That's through. Okay, Palmer in on the right again, but Doku's tracking back this time. James, Enzo Fernandez looks for the ball in, and Gallagher with the volley, and that's well saved, easy in the end, straight at the goalkeeper. That wasn't bad though. That was a bit better. It's that ball into the middle, and this is actually watching the game against Wolves against Spurs yesterday. Just goes to show being a bit direct with your balls into the box sometimes brings you goals where you don't expect them, and that's how Wolves ended up scoring, despite the fact they kind of played the ball around the box so much, but they didn't really do enough. I don't think to be incisive until right at the end of that game. If Chelsea are prepared to play those more direct balls into the box, I think they'll probably not win the game, but they'll definitely score. I think that could be like a mini target for today for Chelsea. Try and score a goal against Man City. Just score a goal. I don't mind if you're not losing 5-1, lose 5-1. Don't lose 5-0. Although to be fair, historically, City have found it tough playing at Chelsea. They found it probably one of their more difficult away fixtures. Arsenal, of course, drew 2-2 here, when arguably, I think you could say, I should get on the pitch and score some goals, says Draco. I think I wouldn't be able to do that. Oh, he's in trouble here. Sterling. Jackson's just standing offside for some reason, not sure why. Sterling is that's really good play from Rodrigo. He sidesteps Sterling really well, and City eventually play it out. Do you think I can score against any Prem team? Do you mean me personally, or do you mean Arsenal? Because if you mean me personally, I'm as fit as a cow who's been trudging around a field for 25 years. So probably dead. So no, I don't think so. Unless you allow me to disobey the offside law. If you allow me to just me, Haaland's been pushed down there by Cucurella. Thiago Silva clears it, but Haaland's protesting. If Haaland gets a penalty for being pushed over by Cucurella, you've got to think there are some problems with that, because like Haaland is a lot stronger than Cucurella. Two players are on the floor there for Chelsea, and I think Cucurella realises that Haaland's gotten in front of him. Is that a penalty? What's going on here? I don't know. I think he's given a penalty, you know. Yeah, so what happens here is the ball goes far post for Haaland. Cucurella realises that Haaland's gotten in front of him, and he's grabbed him by the midriff, by the shirt. And they are checking it for a penalty. I don't know if he's already given a penalty or not, but it looks like it's going to be a penalty for City, which is the softest of penalties. I don't disagree with it. That's not what I mean by soft. But from a Chelsea point of view, this is a horrible, horrible, horrible penalty to give away. Now, is that a... Oh, what? Oh, I'm just really confused now. I don't know what they're checking. I don't know what they're checking. I think what's happened here is that the referee has given a penalty to City, and they're checking on VAR to make sure that it's actually a penalty. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Don't watch much City games. Is Haaland good at link up, or is he just literally a target man only? No, he's okay at the link up. I think if you look at his touch maps, He's one of these players that can have like 5 touches in a game and score 3 goals. So it doesn't necessarily mean the way that City play. Yeah, Haaland's getting ready for a penalty, so there's definitely a penalty to City. The way that City play, it's they don't really rely on Haaland to be a link-up man. I think they rely on him to be a presence up front and to be able to run the ball in behind or run in behind and get the ball and that kind of thing, but not really run the channels. More like run in behind and in on goal. But he is like he does play like the target man. That's fair, but more like it's so difficult to describe. He's not a target man in the traditional sense where you just throw the ball upfield to him or kick the ball miles up to him and let him head the ball. He has done it a couple of times. I remember Arsenal last season, I think we played against them, and City just threw the ball up to Haaland all the time. Went long every time to beat our press. And it worked because we didn't have quite the physical presence to be able to deal with Haaland at the time, and that's because we didn't have Saliba at the back. Right, Haaland penalty. Is he going to score? Yeah. 1-0 City. That is so soft, man. That is just ridiculous. How Chelsea have given away that penalty. That is scandalous. Because I just think that the game was developing really nicely, and then Cucurella just decides to grab him. Why does he grab him from in front when he's there? Haaland makes a really good run inside the fullback, having started outside the fullback. But Cucurella's not looking at Haaland at all. He's just looking at the ball. He thinks there's a foul for Chelsea at the other end of the box. And then the minute he realises that Haaland's gone around him, he's grabbed him. You can see, yeah, he's already grabbing him here. He's already grabbing him. He runs away from him. And then, I mean, there is an element here that makes me think he's just fallen over. Because there's no way that the Cucurella pull is the reason why he falls over in that way. There's no reason why that is the reason why he falls over. He falls over because he's trying to get a penalty. Now, this is a contact sport, right? And Haaland is one of the strongest strikers in the Premier League. How can he be allowed to get a penalty like that? And I might actually be changing my tune here. I still think it's bad defending. You can't defend in the Premier League by just holding someone's shirt in the box like that. You can't do that. There's no way. Why is it with Gallagher's... I said this last time when I watched Chelsea. Gallagher's got these holes in the back of his socks. Why? Why do people do that? Anyway, why is Haaland allowed to get a penalty for that when actually, in actual fact, he falls over because he knows he's not getting to the ball? And yes, he might not be getting to the ball because of he might not be getting to the ball because of the shirt pull, but I don't know. I don't believe that if you go Chelsea could be in. Touch from Sterling, shocking. He's gone to the left edge of the penalty area and outside the penalty area, and he should be inside it. Gallagher dribbling inside, sets up Caicedo. Easy. Well, regardless, it's a long way back for Chelsea from here. 1-0 down already. We're already playing 25 minutes. That's nice. Enzo plays it into Gallagher. It's ended up wide to... What's happened here? Referee has given a free kick. Referee's not... He doesn't look like he's the most popular man in that stadium right now, I've got to say. I think he's given a penalty there that's very, very, very soft. And I'm going to change my tune here after seeing a few of those replays and think actually that shouldn't have been a penalty. It's the kind of thing that you see, and I remember hearing people say this. People were saying this about, I think, was it the Arsenal? Oh no, it was the Newcastle goal against Arsenal last week. And they were saying that, well, if you gave that free kick in favour of Arsenal because of the Gabriel being fouled, if you gave that, then you're giving free kicks and penalties every game, and it's 5 times every game. So why would you give it? My answer to that would be, that wasn't quite the same because Guimaraes' hands were on Gabriel's head to stop him from flicking it over to clear the ball. is. So I goes, oh my days. Is that Reece James? What a shot that was. Brilliant save from Edison. Wow. If Reece James gets that shot, he's taking it from a central position, slightly on the left. He curls it towards the top corner, but it ends up kind of going more to the middle of the goal. If he gets that further off, further to the right, I think that's a goal. Edison's not getting to it. Well played. Really, really good. But yeah, if City... if Arsenal can't get that foul... Oh, that's James! It's 1-1! Thiago Silva has equalised for Chelsea. Can you believe it? I don't know why I keep doing this every time a goal goes in. But it's 1-1 to Chelsea. 1-1 to Chelsea. That's an Americanism. It's not 1-1 to Chelsea. It's just 1-1. But Chelsea will feel like it's 1-1 to Chelsea. What a moment for Chelsea that is. They've scored their first goal against Man City in the Premier League for 3 years. Unbelievable. It's a great corner in. I think it's Gallagher. And what is the marking from City? Thiago Silva is covered by Jackson. He runs. No one's near him. Absolutely no one's covering him. He's completely free. It's no wonder he scores. That is shocking defending for City. Wow. I am not used to that. It's the Gallagher corner that makes it as well. It's a brilliant corner. It beats everyone. And it starts off with Thiago Silva standing behind Jackson. Jackson makes a run to the far post. Thiago Silva makes a run to the near post. Neither of them have been marked. City have just left them to it. Not what I'm used to seeing from this City team, because I don't really recognise this. I don't recognise this City team conceding goals from corners. So it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Anyway, there you go, 1-1. Wow. You can relax now, Cucurella. You haven't completely given the game away. And Chelsea can relax a bit because they've scored their first goal against City for years. I think this feels a bit more. Oh dear, what was that? Yeah, this feels a bit more fair, I've got to say. In favour of Chelsea, because I don't think Chelsea would deserve to be losing this game before the penalty. Cucurella into Oh, Sterling's not getting that, is he? Cucurella might. Nah, it's well cleared again. City are very good at this. Just playing through the Chelsea press. That's well played, though. Enzo Fernandez gets there. But yeah, it is a tough ask playing against City. Arsenal know this. But then we kept a clean sheet at home against City. Just goes to show the standards. I think that if you can keep a clean sheet at home against City, you've done really well. If you can score a goal against City, you've done really, really well. We're the only teams who have beaten City whilst keeping a clean sheet this season. And I would be interested to see, actually, when was the last time a team kept a clean sheet against City and beat them in a game that mattered? Maybe not the one that Foden's in on the right here. That's a lofted ball. Oh my goodness me. Sanchez was all over the place. I don't know what was going on there. Haaland's naturally was on the end of it. Lovely play from Foden. Jinks through 3 players. Foden flippantly clips it to the far post. And Haaland's shot ends up going well wide. But it's in an almost impossible angle, I think. By the time he actually gets to it, it's almost... Yeah, that's very difficult from Haaland, to be fair. What I'm surprised at is... Well, no, surprised isn't the right word. What I'm annoyed at is Sanchez's goalkeeping. See, he's not a good goal... Like, just think that Chelsea have gone from Petr Cech, potentially one of the best goalkeepers ever to play in the Premier League, Thibaut Courtois, again, another fantastic goalkeeper, has won like 3 Champions Leagues since he left Chelsea. And then since then, they've had like Kepa, Mendy, and now they've ended up with Sanchez. It's like it's going right down. If they keep going like this, they'll end up with like a 60-year-old Bruce Grobbelaar. is Doku playing it into Bernardo Silva, but that's well cleared by Disasi. It's they're not doing well with their goalkeepers at Chelsea. They're really not. That possession is about level, which does feel about right. Bernardo Silva just lumping it wide to Foden. This doesn't feel. I do think this is a game where City are going to have to fight to win this. Looking at the way Chelsea are playing, they're being very adventurous with the ball. I mean, there you go. Possession 44% for Chelsea, 56% for City, which is what you'd expect. But Chelsea have had more shots on target. More shots on target and more shots in general. Is Rodri though? Yeah, Rodri. Into Foden on the left. That's a... Oh! I was about to say that was an amazing goal. It wasn't. He missed by inches on the left-hand side. He gets the ball on the right-hand side here. Rodri plays him in. Cucurella's got no hope. And Foden just shapes it and it just goes wide. It's really close. He'll be looking forward to the international break, that's for sure, because he's very likely to play, I think. Well, I say that. Saka's fit, so he might not, Saka might play. We'll see. Not that it matters. I think they're playing like San Marino and someone else. That ball to Foden wasn't that great. Rodri clipped out to... No, Chelsea are so static here. Doku ends up getting tackled there pretty well. Jackson, is he going to hold the ball up? Yeah. Close enough. He gets the throw. Can Chelsea hold out for another 10 minutes here? I think. It's this corner routine again. There's no one marking him. It's like Bernardo Silva's just kind of stood there like he had someone to mark. I don't know who. Yeah, and Haaland, I think, may have had the job of going to attack the ball, but what's happened there is that the ball it's been shaped in such a way that it's gone in front of Haaland, but behind the player at the near post who was going to clear the ball. So it's very much it's a tricky scenario, I think, for City, but they should. Even if the corner's perfect, you'd have thought, and I'm not an expert on this, to be fair, but you would have thought that Chelsea would have been able to, or that City would have been able to design their tactics in such a way they could stop that from happening. Oh no. It is a very, very good corner. And it might just be like the perfect ball in. Again, I'm not an expert in this, but the perfect ball in could be the one that ends up winning or scoring you a goal if the player's in the right place. Nice header from Walker, but Enzo Fernandez is there. Tell you what, I've been impressed with Enzo Fernandez more. The more oh, that's a terrible touch. Reece James to Sterling, 2-1 Chelsea. What is this? What is this? Oh my days! It's 2-1 to Chelsea. I cannot believe what I'm watching. It's shocking defending from, I think it's Guardiola at left back for City. City are in trouble here. If they don't get their act together, this could be really a shocking result for this City team. And their away woes continue. They've conceded another goal away from home. Enzo controls it, plays it out to Cole Palmer. He plays it in, and James... Is it Guardiola? Guardiola just gets it stuck under his feet for some reason. The Palmer plays the ball basically straight to Guardiola, but he doesn't know where it is. It's under his feet. He gets stuck, and then James gets the ball and passes it first time to Sterling, and it's an easy tap in for Sterling at the far post. But honestly, what are they doing? James, no, because Gallagher, not Cole Palmer, Gallagher got the assist for the first one. But if you've got James in your fantasy team, there you go. There's your assist. No clean sheet, but what a moment. What a moment for Chelsea again. I'm stunned. I I cannot believe what I'm watching here. I think Reece James is playing okay. Given that we've been watching Doku just, oh goodness me, what was that? Ruben Diaz just flicked the ball straight to a Chelsea player. But then City have got the ball back. Bernardo Silva into Alvarez, into Foden. This looks dangerous. Back to Alvarez. Pulls it back. Oh, what a clearance from Disasi. That was big because Haaland was right there. Wow. Is James playing well? Given that we've been watching Doku absolutely rinse defenders for the last few weeks, I think he is playing well. But then I don't think Doku has necessarily rinsed any players who you would consider to be the best right backs in the Premier League. And to be fair, City have the best right back in the Premier League. So it's I think it would be interesting to see, because I don't think Doku played against. Did they play against Arsenal? I don't think he played against Arsenal. I don't remember him playing particularly well against Arsenal, if he did. So, yeah, but he is playing well. I think going forward, he's got a very important role to play in this Chelsea team, because he's offering that attacking threat that I don't think. And to be fair, you know what? I criticised. Well, can you say anything about that ball from Sanchez? It's a long ball that Walker heads but doesn't really head back out. The problems start when Guardiola makes that mistake. I think if Guardiola doesn't make that mistake at left back, I think Chelsea don't score that goal. If he just clears it, he doesn't score that goal. That's lovely play. James again. James is on fire here. He's in. It's 3-on-2. James plays it to Sterling. Oh, I was going to say plays it to Sterling. There's a chance for Enzo. Oh, that was almost going in. Well, blocked again from City. City have got to be. They've got to get out of this 2-1 down, man. At this point, the way they're playing, Chelsea could score 3 or 4. They're playing really well. This is. I didn't watch the Chelsea Arsenal game, but I'd imagine this is what it was like playing against. For Arsenal playing against that Chelsea team. They were basically chasing shadows. Admittedly, I don't think Arsenal played very well. I think Arsenal were pretty shocking that night, and they still managed to get a point. So if you're looking at... what am I going to sneeze again? Oh, excuse me. Chelsea in again on the left-hand side here. City are at 6s and 7s. Sterling just wide. Not just wide, well wide. But if you think about head-to-heads between Arsenal and City and their respective results, this is the kind of thing I looked at last season. In terms of relative results, Arsenal, in a lot of cases, actually outscored City in respective games. So, like, I'm trying to think of an example. I think we did the same. Oh, Chelsea got the ball again here on the counter press. Nicholas Jackson tries to play it through the legs of the defender. That doesn't work. City could be on the. Oh, goodness me, what are Chelsea doing? Into Haaland. Haaland's in. Haaland's got to score. What a save from Sanchez. Oh, tell you what he lacks in creativity going forward, he is definitely making up for in being a good defender. That's going to be a foul for City, that, yeah. If you look at the respective results for both teams, Arsenal, in some cases, outscored City. And this is a good example of a time when Arsenal could potentially get a point up on City in terms of respective results, because our away game against Chelsea, we drew. City are currently losing. So we would gain a point in that respect. But there are a lot of other games, I think, Fulham at home, City won. Oh, Doku could be in on the left-hand side this time, into Bernardo Silva. Is he going to clip it far post? No, he's going to give it to Rodri. Is he going to have a go? No, he's giving it to Walker. Walker's definitely going to cross the ball. Don't see him shoot very often. Nope, he's just going to keep it. He's slowing the game down a bit here. Foden. Foden still. And still. Easy save for Sanchez. Interesting that Chelsea are happy to let City have the ball now in front of the penalty area. That's a bit concerning. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. Um, but hey ho, City have the press. That's nice. Lovely ball through the middle. Okay, Sanchez. That's the best ball that Sanchez has played all night. Really, really good into Cole Palmer. Now Sterling. Sterling gets past Doku really easily. Sterling still going. Still going. Oh, Jackson. Jackson just took the ball off Sterling and took a shot with his left foot. Why would he do that? Why would you shoot with your left foot? He's right-footed, I think. Pretty sure he's right-footed. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2-1 to Chelsea. There's about 1.5 minutes left. And this has been a good watch. It's not what I expected. I think maybe I've lowered my expectations a bit too much given what happened between Chelsea and Arsenal. And it looks like when Chelsea play the big teams, especially at home, I think they're brave enough to go for the game. And with a manager like Pochettino, he is historically one who likes to kind of disrupt the establishment somewhat. And at this point, given where Chelsea are at, Chelsea are not part of the establishment, not in terms of actual quality, let's say. Given where they've been in the table, like the last season they finished like mid-table. This season, I think people are expecting to finish mid-table again. But if they can beat City here, the problem that Chelsea have got, and they've played well in this game against City and at home to Arsenal as well, and I think they've got Man United to come. The problem they've got is playing against the so-called weaker teams. Can they produce results against those teams consistently? The jury's out. Doku on the left-hand side, trying to chink his way past the defender. He kind of bodies him. Ooh, that was close. Cole Palmer trying to defend against Doku, and he almost gives away a penalty. He's very lucky there, I think. Because Doku deliberately... Oh, he deliberately doesn't go down. I'll tell you what, he's lucky. Because if Doku sees that flailing leg from Cole Palmer and decides to just run into it, he gets a penalty every day. That's a ball in the box. That's a shocking bit of defending. And it's 2-2. Akanji scores. Wow. What is the point, man? So it's a corner. Played out to, I think it's Bernardo Silva, or it could be... Yeah, I think it's Bernardo Silva. Plays the ball in the box, and Akanji is just completely free. Thiago Silva's in front of him. There's a couple of players behind him. None of them have picked him up, and he's completely free. And he heads it in the corner. Easy goal. Easy goal. I mean, if you're going to defend like that, what's the point? Like, just go home. What is the point? Yeah, you know what, Maurizio? I agree with you. Yes. I would be absolutely irate. Yes, there's 6 minutes of added time, so you can't really say it's on the edge of the half. It's definitely not like just before half. Oh, Reece James, man. That was a shocking touch. You can't say it's like directly on half time, but it's annoying, I think, for this Chelsea team because they were putting City under so much pressure. Oh, Cole Gallagher, that's a late one. That's a late one. He's lucky he doesn't catch him here. I think the thing is though, right? Oh, you know what? That's worse. On the replay, it's worse because he kicks it. The defender kicks it, ends up kicking Gallagher's foot as he's coming to challenge, but Gallagher gets nothing of the ball. That is it's questionable. What is that defending? So I think Gallagher might be the one at fault here as well because Gallagher goes away from... Gallagher's the closest one to Akanji before the ball goes in. Then Gallagher just walks away from him as if he doesn't exist. It's left Thiago Silva completely on his own without telling him that he's there. And getting that second... There might have been something that City have noticed, is that they've got that kind of second second phase issue, Chelsea, where they're playing, if you play a corner out, that's well played by Thiago Silva there. Tell you what, they've definitely missed Thiago Silva playing at the back sometimes this season, because they've not really been the same defensively without him. But yeah, that second phase from Chelsea, it looks like City have pinpointed that as a potential weakness. And kind of agree with them, to be fair. Kanji's trying to play the ball through the midfield, but not getting through there. I still think Chelsea should be encouraged. Like, this is definitely not the way that a lot of people expected this game to go. At all. They look very creative. Oh, here's Foden. Well cleared, though. Nice touch to Sterling. He's in a bit of a cul-de-sac here, though. And he's lost it. Got to be careful. Got to be so careful. Doku's... Is that a free kick? No. They're just going to play on. 2-2. We've got 2 minutes left of injury time, and then that'll probably be the half-time whistle. Sterling gets that. Yeah, so we did see a clip earlier of Maurizio Pochettino's reaction to the goal that City scored, and he was not happy. And I don't think, none of that Chelsea team would have been happy, because that's absolutely shocking defending. But going into the second half, assuming that nothing else happens here, going into the second half, I think, that's going to be a foul. Yeah. Walker's clever there, because he gets the ball. He's seeing Sterling coming at him. He's got nowhere to go, really. He can't pass it backwards. Doesn't have time to turn around. So he just plays it past him and then runs into him. Well, yeah. It's like an old basketball foul. If you've ever played basketball, you're told if you just dribble and then walk into someone, then it's a foul and you get a free kick or the free throw or whatever. It's going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. Doku's not getting as much joy on that left-hand side as he has against other teams. And I think part of that is to do with the work rate of Cole Palmer, to be fair. Pochettino he's ready to go down the tunnel. He's ready to get into those players, because I think he needs to show them and prove to them that they can win this game. I think there's absolutely, given how this first half has gone, they've had a penalty given against them, which probably shouldn't have been a penalty. They've had a shocking bit of defending, which, to be fair, was their own fault. But if they just defend properly, that doesn't happen. They could be 2-0 up in this game. It's absolutely reasonable to expect that. City can feel quite fortunate that they're still in this game, because I just don't think they've played that well outside of a couple of moments. Here goes Gallagher. Sterling playing it into Jackson. Surely not. Oh, it's going to be a corner, and they are going to take it. Corner to Chelsea. Wouldn't it just top off this first half if Chelsea ended up scoring from a corner against City after the Thiago Silva corner? Which, to be fair, was also kind of terrible defending, so maybe it should just be 1-0 to Chelsea, not 2-0. Sterling with the ball at the far post. That's easily claimed by Edison. And that's half time. There you go. Well, what a first half. What a first half. I'm not sure how this game has I'm not sure how this game has finished 2-2, to be fair. It's very, very strange, but there you go. Let's see, I'm just going to turn this chat off here, because I've not got a way of being able to link up the chats and then put them all on the stream, so I'm just kind of leaving it there as it is. But yeah, looking at this, these stats, there you go. It's interesting. say the least. Chelsea have 41.4 possession compared to 58.6. 59% possession for City. That's kind of what you expect from a City game, even playing away from home. 5-5 on target shots and 10-8 on target, 10-8 total. The touches mostly in City's favour, passes in City's favour as you'd expect. More tackles for Chelsea, more clearances for Chelsea, more corners for City, more yellow cards for Chelsea, and more fouls for Chelsea as well. So it does, in terms of the overall play, it looks like City are more in command. What these stats don't tell us is the kind of threats from these. And I think there were a few moments in that game where City were very threatening and they were trying to get in behind as much as possible. But that didn't actually produce much in terms of the goals that City scored. One was a penalty, which shouldn't have been given, and one was a corner that was converted into a goal. It's very, very strange. Right, while we are keeping up with this game, at halftime, I'm going to quickly go over the Premier League, not the Premier League, the fixtures for the next few weeks, I suppose. So, and just try and look at is there anywhere that says it goes over the permutations for the European Championship qualifiers, because that's what I'll be looking for. I can't see anything here, so I might just look at like European. Oh no, international, that's what I'm looking for. This is going to be enthralling watching for the next few minutes. Oh, here we go. Men's Euros. Okay, so Wales do have decisive qualifiers. Here we go. So Ben Davies is in the squad and Ramsey is not, unfortunately. It would be amazing for Aaron Ramsey to be able to get into a European Championship squad at this late in his career. Remember, it was almost 10 years ago he scored a winning goal for Arsenal in an FA Cup final. So they play Armenia first, away in Yerevan. They play Armenia in Yerevan on the 18th of November. And then they play Turkey, who are the group leaders, in Cardiff on the Tuesday. That could be worth watching, that game against Turkey, if it's still up there. Tell you what, Croatia. I wonder who Croatia are playing. We need to look at this group, because this is an interesting group. And looking at that group as well, I know I said earlier that Wales should probably really be qualifying. I actually think that those top three are kind of, roughly speaking, in the same place. Turkey they're not 6 points better than Wales and Croatia. I think they're about the same level. So it's definitely something that I would expect. So they're playing. Okay, it's 2:00 on a Saturday. Could definitely watch that game. And then Tuesday at 7:45 for the Wales-Turkey game. You know what? I might just be Welsh. I might just turn Welsh for a week. How about that? That doesn't seem too bad. We'll have a look at the rest of the games, of course. But we ought to have a look at the fixtures. There we go, European Championship qualifying. There's a game today, apparently. Kosovo are playing Israel. Interesting. That must have been a game that was postponed, I would have thought. There you go. So Cyprus are playing Spain. I need to get the tables up as well, don't I? Right. New tab. So Spain and Scotland are both qualified, I think. Yeah. So that group's done. Let's have a look. Group J. France have Group B. France are qualified. Netherlands, Greece. It's between Netherlands and Greece to qualify for that one. I'd expect Netherlands to go through. They've got a game in hand. Although that might be against France. Not sure. England, we know, have qualified. Ukraine and Italy are battling it out for that second qualifying spot. Then we've got Group D, which is the Turkey, Wales, Croatia group. And then you've got Group E, Albania, Czech Republic, Poland. Meh. How are Albania top? Who have they got in that team? Interesting. Not a lot said on the BBC Sport website about that, to be fair. Belgium, Austria, Sweden. Meh. Belgium have qualified. Sweden have qualified. Austria have qualified as well. Sorry. So yeah, that's interesting. Hungary and Serbia have also pretty much qualified, I think. Yeah. Not quite actually. Technically, Montenegro could technically overhaul Serbia, but unlikely. Slovenia, Denmark. Northern Ireland are out. Yeah, that's that. Slovenia and Denmark are pretty much through. There's 2 games left of that group. Romania, Switzerland, Israel, Kosovo, Belarus. I think Romania and Switzerland are pretty much through. And then Portugal, Slovakia. Where are Republic of Ireland? Did I go past them? There they are. They're in the France-Netherlands group, and they've only got 6 points, so they're definitely out. So yeah, it's all on Wales. So I think we're going to look to see if we can watch the Wales games. I suppose that's going to be how that works. We'll see if Wales. Who is it they're playing? Armenia at home. No, away. Sorry, away at 2 o'clock. So they should. Hopefully that'll be on TV. Armenia v TV. Let's see if this is on. It's actually just on terrestrial TV in the UK. That's nice. Okay. I think. I'll just check that. Yeah. Hopefully that'll be just live on. It's like S4C, F4C online, and BBC iPlayer. So yeah, should be able to watch that. Also, Viaplay Sports One, which is slightly concerning. I didn't realise that some of the games would be on that because I don't own that. I want to pay more money for TV. Right, who else have we got then? Wales against Wales v Turkey. And that could be a big game. Same again. Oh, that's Armenia. Sorry, Armenia against Wales. Wales v Turkey, same thing, yeah. Okay, well, there you go then. We should be able to watch that. So that's probably what we're going to do. Because I don't think they're necessarily... Let's just check those tables again. Yeah, we'll just check those tables again. If Wales were to lose against Armenia, it doesn't mean that it's over for them. But I think they're going to struggle if they don't beat Armenia, because their next game is Turkey. So what they really need to do is win. And then Croatia's last two games are Latvia and Armenia. So you'd think those are two teams that are below them in the group. You'd expect them to get 6 points out of 6 there. So Wales need to get 6 points, which then leaves Turkey. I think it's the only other team. Oh, interesting. Why had Turkey not got any? Okay, we don't still go that way. Fair enough. They've got of course their last game was against Wales. So in theory, I think if they win both games, they are pretty much through, because I think the head-to-head would be interesting. I wonder who the other team was that they lost to. Hang on. Let's go back and check. I beat them. Okay, they beat Wales. So that makes things a bit more complicated. So if Wales won 2-0, let's say, because that's the score they lost by, then they would probably still finish below Turkey. But actually, no, if they win both games, they've got a better head-to-head record against Croatia, I believe. So I think it doesn't actually matter. I think that's fine. Sorted. Right. Are we close to the game yet? No. Don't think so. Right. But there's the stats. I mean, a draw does obviously not help City massively. But I'm not really sure that obviously defeat doesn't either. Anything other than a win, I think, really harms City's chances of winning the league. But it's not a detriment. It's not like detrimental to their season at all. It is just what it is, really. So, right. I think what I'm going to do. Oh no, are we about to finish? We're about to start. Yeah, that penalty, man. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that. All right, they're getting the players are getting ready in the tunnel, and this is going to be a big second half for City. This, because I don't really think they turned up in the first half. I think they were okay, but they weren't amazing. I think they needed to get going a bit more in that first half. So this second half's big for them. If they turn up, they probably win this game. But Chelsea have shown that they're definitely a threat going forward, and it'll be interesting to see what changes Pep makes to the team to stop Chelsea being as much of a threat. What can Chelsea do a little bit differently? I think they could potentially. I think they still need to keep playing through the City press, because that seems to be how the game has. That seems to be how they've had the joy getting through this City team, is being brave and playing through the press. If they don't do that, I'm concerned for Chelsea, because then they'll probably get hemmed in and City will dominate and start to win the game. But we will see. Right, kicked off for the second half. City just playing the ball around the back as before. It's interesting that Akanji doesn't step up to the that defensive. Oh, I tell you what, Sterling's just nicked the ball off of Walker here. That's unusual. Walker's, oh goodness me, he's not happy. You can tell. You can tell a player's not happy when they've lost the ball because they've just gone into a challenge, a really reckless challenge straight afterwards. It's not good that from Walker. He's lucky he doesn't catch Sterling with his leading leg, because if he does, I think that's a yellow card straight away. Assuming he hasn't been given a yellow, which I don't think he has. Corner is a free kick to Chelsea. Palmer's over it. Probably going to sling this towards Thiago Silva. He has. It's just been flicked over him though. Palm and Gallagher is just going to be pushed. Okay. Right, I'm going to need the loo. Unfortunately, should have just gone before, shouldn't I? There you go. So I'll be back in a minute. Three-two City. Ball in behind. It's typical that it would happen as I'm about to go to the league. Ball in behind. For who is it on the right hand side? I think it was Foden. Haaland gets the ball in the middle. He's given so much space. Then yeah, it's an easy ball in behind. Foden challenging Cucurella. The overlap is there. Overlap is played in. Alvarez plays the ball into Haaland. Haaland's onside. It gets deflected off the goalkeeper and goes straight to Haaland, and it's a goal. There you go. Right. It's like playing the first half all over again. Chelsea start pretty promisingly, and then they can see the goal straight away. Great. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Right. Well, after that disastrous start, I wonder what's been happening. Chelsea have conceded a goal within what, 3 minutes? And I was thinking about the goal as well. I was like, how do you end up with a situation where you've got a fullback marking a winger and then someone else just goes on? That's a nice ball in behind there for City. They just look more. Oh, that's a nice shot, Alvarez, but well played. How can you end up in a situation where you've got a winger marking up a fullback with the ball and then someone else can overlap and no one is tracking the overlapping? No one's tracking it. I don't know. I'm I'm just a bit stunned, but that's a shocking bit tackling that from Caicedo. City are taking the game. This is kind of what I said might happen, is that City take the game to this Chelsea team and rip them apart, and they look like they're doing that at the moment. It's almost like they took that first half, and this is where I think Chelsea are giving away that penalty, and then the terrible defending for the City second goal has really cost them, because I think if they went into this second half, sorry, with a 2-0 lead rather than just a 2-2, I think they'd be way more confident and it would leave City in a really difficult position. As it happens, they've basically they've just given the game away, I think, really. And yeah, City have kind of earned it, but they didn't really have to work too hard to get that position. There's a corner, well, not corner, a free kick from Alvarez, but that's way too deep. It's yeah, it's a bit of I'm a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest, because I was hoping for. And this is kind of like the first time when City went in front, I was like, okay, right, so City will probably end up just dominating this game and win comfortably, as they had before. But here we go, Cucurella. Chelsea playing pretty neatly around the City press, and Sterling's trying to force that run in behind. Sterling gets the ball centrally, back out to Gallagher. Looking for that ball in behind, but not going to get it. City playing. Oh, you just came back, Draco. Welcome back. A lot has happened since you left. City are now winning, 3-2. They are definitely playing a better football. But to be fair, so what happened after the first City goal? I was expecting City to go and win handsomely, and they looked pretty confident. And then out of the blue, Chelsea ended up scoring two. And you didn't really see that coming. But then when they did score two, they looked like they could go on and score 3 or 4. So I suppose if you're a Chelsea fan, you're just hoping that you can start to get a bit more of the ball, and start to kind of play through this City press, because that's how they're gonna score here. There's a chance again. That's a good tackle, that one. Very good tackle from Ruben Diaz. But that's how they're going to get on to scoring here, I think. It's the only way, because I can't see Chelsea necessarily hitting them on the break as such. But City are going to invite Chelsea to try and play through their press. And City will back themselves to be able to score. Sterling grappling with Foden. Foden gets the ball away again. Alvarez. There's trouble here because Doku's in on the left. Bernardo Silva into Doku. Doku's still going. He's got. Ooh, that's going to be it's a dive apparently. Now that's a little harsh, I've got to say. I don't think he dives here. I think what he's done is he just falls over. There's a difference between diving and falling over. Let's see. So he goes down after minimal contact, but there is contact. Now, I saw something about this yesterday. I think someone went, who was it who went down and got a booking? Eze in the Palace game. Eze went down, and the referee booked him for simulation. The problem was he was actually foul. Not foul, but he was touched. Like the tackle did touch him. He felt the contact and went down. And that's what most wingers would do. That's a ball into the box, but easy take for Edison. That's what most wingers would do, is they feel the contact, probably hard enough, they're going quite fast. It's a penalty, they'll go down. He went down and he got a booking. But I don't think that bookings should be given for players who go down under contact. Because if you've got contact normally, I mean, there was a time when any contact in the penalty area would constitute a penalty. So, oh, that's a foul. Rodri kicks him in a very painful part of his shin there. Enzo Fernandez, that's not a good ball. That's not a good ball. And now Haaland has got Doku running in on the left-hand side here. This is trouble. This is real trouble for Chelsea. Doku, he's gotten really close. That's a good save from Sanchez. He just about gets enough in front of it to stop it from going in. It was straight at him. It's not a good finish from Doku. If Doku shapes that to the right or to the left, he probably scores. Because Sanchez is like, Doku's like 8 yards out when he takes that shot. So yes, he's threatening, but this is the thing. I think with Doku, I'm holding back my judgment just at the moment, because you think about someone like Grealish, his season last season was outstanding, and that's because he that is because he produced against the best teams. He produced against Arsenal. He produced in that game against, I think it was Real Madrid? He produced in the Champions League consistently. He produced in the Premier League consistently. And I think he was definitely part of the team that ended up taking City to winning the FA Cup. So, and I think he actually did play pretty well against Arsenal in the FA Cup in the third round. So, yeah, it's Doku is off for Grealish after that. He's off for Grealish. Pep's having a bit of word with him. I think it's fair. He just looked a bit ineffectual, and I was wondering in the first half whether that change would happen, because I think given how I think most people would have thought that this game would probably be a game that, it's a lovely bit of play that from Chelsea. They've played right through the middle of City and their press. But City have still got 6 players back, which is interesting. Sterling still? No, that's not a foul, Sterling. Come on, Raheem. What did who do? Doku. Yeah, Draco says, what did he do? I don't know who he is. I'm assuming you mean, is it Doku you're talking about for today? Or oh, he's almost lost the ball there. Doku, okay, so he's just not. Oh, Palmer's in on goal. Oh, that was. Oh man, if the guy had a right foot, he would have scored there. But because he has a left, he has to get it onto his left foot and then shoot, and it's too late by then. Goalkeeper's already at his feet. Palmer just dribbles. He just goes. No one's getting on him. It's a nice attempt at a finish. He tries to kind of dink it, or like poke it towards the post, but it doesn't go in. What did Doku do? I think in this game, he hasn't done a great deal. I think he's tried to threaten him behind, and there's a couple of times when he threatened him behind on the left-hand side, and he looks very, very good. In terms of the threat. But then when he actually got into the position to shoot, he wasn't clinical at all. And this is where I think Grealish has potentially got more. That's a lovely touch from Bernardo Silva. Really nice. And here's Grealish now. Can he do something different? He's going to come on the inside, play it wide. Oh, that's an easy save in the end. And this is kind of where I think he is different. It's a different kind of player. And this is why I think the Doku signing's like a masterstroke for City. Because they've got a player who can threaten, who's very direct. Here's Chelsea running in behind now. Not a foul. And the ref's playing on. Chelsea players need to stop standing and complaining. because that's kind of what's happening at the moment. Haaland's just standing offside, and it's going to be nope. That's a terrible ball. I was expecting a goal there. But they've got Grealish, Doku on the left hand side, who is able to get the ball and just run direct at the opposition, and he's really good at that. And then take the shot. I don't think he's as good technically as Grealish though, and that's what Grealish can do is he can get the ball, and yes, sometimes turn back and play it backwards, but that's not necessarily a bad thing in a Guardiola team that likes to keep the ball. And I would expect with someone like Grealish on the left hand side, they're going to keep the ball a lot more. Now, I would expect. Slow the game down. They're 3-2 up. There's no need to rush the game. But when he gets in behind, he will be able to do a bit more kind of trickery. Is that the right word? Oh, it's a lovely ball into Rodrigo. He's got to shoot here, surely. Rodri. Nope. Haaland is a winger now, and he's giving it straight to the keeper. Don't know how Haaland ended up in that position. Yeah, Haaland's having a go at Rodri there. I think he doesn't really want the ball in that position there. He's not doing anything with it. That's an interesting ball. Jackson doesn't hold it up. City are in again here. Bernardo Silva. He's got Grealish to his left. Here he is. Grealish passing it out to Alvarez. He's still got the ball there. Passes it out again to Grealish. This is very concerning now. City have got the ball in the penalty area, stationary. Grealish passes it out to Bernardo Silva. And that's where I think the two threats are very, very different. But they don't have... I mean, talking about players on the right-hand side for City, I don't think they have the same variation. It's basically like Alvarez or Foden. There's not really much else, I don't think, that they've got on the right-hand side. So, right, Gusto's coming on for Chelsea. I don't know why. I do wonder why. And Mudryk. Oh dear. I watched this guy come on against Spurs, and you'd have thought, given how high a line Spurs played, that Mudryk would have been a perfect answer. Oh, not for Reece James. Why are they taking James off? Is it because he's coming back from an injury? I suppose Gusto is a right back, but still, like, that's ridiculous, man. James has been their best outlet in this game. He's been the one who's opened up this City team most consistently. Fernandes off for Mudryk. That is a change I do not understand, because that means they're probably going, is that like 4-2-4? I'm very confused. Where does Sterling play? Sterling's playing on the right. Ederson's down. That's interesting. He's got an issue with his ankle, I think. That's not good. But yeah, I don't know why they would make those changes. Why would you make... Why would... I just don't think you... Mudryk is a signing, I think. Arsenal... If he'd have gone to Arsenal, I think he would have been treated very differently to what he's like at Chelsea. He wouldn't have been playing every week. He would have played maybe once every other game, thereabouts. At Chelsea, he started off having to play every game because they didn't have anyone else, really, apart from Sterling. And Sterling wasn't playing very well, so it was a kind of impossible situation. And I look at this game, what's Mudryk going to provide? I think you might get the ball, run with it, and then just give it away. I just don't think... I do not think he's going to do anything useful in this game. And that might be just me being harsh, I don't know. But I'm not a fan. I watched him play in that game against... who was it? Against Spurs. And, well, he was shocking. Like, given that Spurs had 9 men, they're playing a ridiculously high line. Surely there'd be no way that they would mess that up. And they did end up scoring a few goals, but it wasn't down Mudryk's left-hand side. It was every time they got in behind, it was all on the right-hand side. Yeah, so let's see. We'll see. We'll give them a chance, but I think Chelsea might be done here. They're not trying to play the ball out from the back here. It's going to be Interesting. They have lost Enzo, who I think is a pretty important player. Here goes Mudryk. He's going to try and take on a few players. So Gallagher. Gallagher takes the shot. That's a good save. Oh my days! It's 2-2. It's 3-3 even. Sorry, it's 3-3. Say you haven't lost a goal. Chelsea have scored one. What is this? Mudryk gets the ball on the left hand side. Plays it wide to not sure, but then he gets it into Conor Gallagher. Gallagher has a fierce shot, which Ederson just palms out straight to Jackson, who pokes it past the goalkeeper, and it's 3-3. What a thriller of a game. I literally just said, I'm claiming this, I jinxed City. I said that Chelsea were done. That was it. Mudryk actually played all right there. He recycled the ball quite well. Gallagher takes the shot. Yeah, he's definitely on side there. It's just a terrible parry from Ederson. What is that? He did just spend a bit of time down on the floor. So maybe it is a terrible save. If you can think of like all the worst places to save a shot, that's probably right up there with the worst place to save a shot. Good finish from Jackson. Maybe those 3 goals at Spurs did help. 3-3. And no less than Chelsea deserved, by the way, because I do think, I mean, not in this second half, I think City have had all of it. Chelsea have not really been involved. Here we go. City in the penalty area. That's a handball. That's a penalty. That's got to be a penalty, surely. There's no way they don't give that on VAR. There's no way. Unless that doesn't hit his hand, which I assume from the cameras, from the angle that we saw, it's hit his hand. I'm expecting the referee to stop the game here at some point. Yeah, because Bernardo Silva gets in on the left. Oh, here's Haaland. He just heads it down, but the goalkeeper should have this. Now, well, I mean, he hits his head. Oh, okay, right, fair enough. There you go. That's what I was saying. Yeah, no, it hits his head. Fair enough. Yeah, I was going to say because the way that Gusto dives to block, or was it Disasi? It was Disasi. And the way that Disasi dives to block the ball, and he does have his hands up, or one of his hands up, you think it's hit his hand. That's really unfortunate. That's why I don't necessarily agree with the handball rule as it is right now. Because yes, you're making I think the ball has got to be goal bound for it to be counted as handball. The rest of the time, if it's a ball into the box, unless it's a deliberate act, you shouldn't be giving handball because that's a better way of wording it would be if you're in the middle of an action that would be to block the ball and your body is out of balance and you need to use your hands to balance. A bit similar to the rule where if you're... Oh, here's the chances. Cole Palmer in on the right-hand side again. Surely Chelsea can't make it 4-3. Cole Palmer playing it to Gallagher. If you're using your arms to balance, surely you should be allowed to keep your hands in that position without fear of being hit by the ball. And I think the most important thing has got to be you got to bring back the kind of minimum distance for a handball, surely. Because if you have the ball smashed at you when you're trying to dive at the ball, that's surely going to be that can't be a penalty. You can't give that. Anyway, it wasn't given in the end. Gusto on the right hand side here. That's an interesting ball in behind. Cole Palmer tries to control it. He does actually control it. He's still going, Cole Palmer. I'll tell you what, he was almost past him there. Kanji almost got beat. City have not looked themselves for ever since the Chelsea goal, got to say. Chelsea have got that little bit more belief. That's a nice ball in behind though. Here's Alvarez, but again, this does seem to be the tactic, I think, from this City team. That's a cold kick, really. Okay. Surprised. It does seem to be a tactic from the City team to get the ball wide, either left or right. Most of the time it's right though. Get the ball wide, get it to another player who's going to overlap, put the ball in the box for Haaland and score. Pretty straightforward. Three. Sometimes football just amazes you. That's a yellow card if ever I saw it. Yep, Rodri. Just pushing them down. If ever you want an example of why that Gabriel foul was a foul for Newcastle, that right there, exactly the same. Gives a foul. Right, Chelsea just playing out at the back. It looks like it's absolutely chucking it down over there as well. The storm has come back, I think, which may potentially help Chelsea, possibly. But the thing is, I suppose, this is an inexperienced Chelsea team. Chelsea playing the ball out from the back. Why is he just smashing it? Okay. I suppose that might not necessarily be... Oh, dear, Mudryk. Mudryk might get that. Oh, that's handball. That's definitely handball. Oh, my days. What is this ref playing? You can't give it off of VAR because it's not in a penalty area. You can tell from the camera shake that the whole stadium would have been absolutely at it there. Is Foden chipping the ball towards Gusto and clears it. There is a bit of element at this point. If the rain is that bad, you can just lump it and hope for a mistake, because I think there's a really good chance of one at this point. Ball will be slipping around like soap. And at this point, you could almost say the next goal wins, really. That's nice, though. Well played. That's not a good ball out from Caicedo, though. Chelsea can't afford to allow City a constant recycling of the ball, because they will end up scoring. Here goes Rodri and Foden on the edge of the box. That's a great tackle from Disasi. That really nice. Gusto's not fouled there, but they could be in here, Chelsea. That's a brilliant recovery tackle from... Is that Akanji? Akanji recovers, but Cole Palmer gets the ball back. The ball kind of got stuck in the rain as well. It didn't really help. Here goes Gallagher. Question whether this is a better performance than the one that Chelsea gave against Arsenal. I think it's different because I don't think, other than the 2 goals that they gave away, well, the 1 goal, the one that Sanchez gave straight to Rice, I don't think Chelsea necessarily made that many mistakes against Arsenal. They've made a lot of mistakes today. Like, there's a lot of times here goes Gusto again. He's played pretty well, to be fair, since he's come on. Oh, Sterling nicks it. Sterling into Cole Palmer. Oh. Not Gusto with his left foot as well. Is he left-footed? Sterling nicked it there. Some interesting play from City, trying to play out from the back. I don't think Rodri has necessarily played all that well since the Chelsea goal, as well as a few City players that have stepped off it a little bit. Oh, man, you just got to smash that near post. It's got to hit it near post, man. Crazy that... but it is a question. I think they've played... I think all... Okay, it's really difficult for me to say because I didn't watch the... Oh no, Gusto's down with something. Not quite sure. He's holding his left arm. Oof, he's fallen on his arm after a collision with a City player, and it doesn't look good. It's something on his chest or his stomach. Okay. Yeah, so this handball. Oh my days! How do you not give that, man? How does the ref not see that? How does he not see that? That's unbelievable. There should be a free kick to Chelsea and potentially a yellow card for Walker because he's holding his arm out. And you can't see on this camera. I just don't. He's holding his arm out like this, and the goalkeeper just hits it into that arm and then it deflects away. I think City have got very lucky here. I think generally speaking, City have got pretty lucky all round. They earned the third goal. They earned the third goal, but they're not. Yeah. I think they've earned the third goal, and then as soon as Chelsea have scored, they've stepped off it again. And Chelsea have gone at it again. This is very representative of a Chelsea team that's quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Young. They're very young. They're very impulsive, and emotional. And I think it's an early stage of a Chelsea team that I think in a few years will actually be very, very good again. They will be. There's no question. Bernardo Silva gets round Gallagher twice. That's well headed out. Gusto trying to just shepherd it out. Akanji recycles the ball. But yeah, this Chelsea team will be good in a few years. Right now, I don't think they really have the maturity to be able to kind of see home results like a win against City at home. Having said that, there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with taking a point. Although Alvarez into Bernardo Silva, that's deflected and is cleared by Chelsea. There's nothing wrong with taking a point at home to City. Given that City won the treble last season, they're easily the best team in the world right now. I just don't think you can turn your nose up at that as a Chelsea team who finished mid-table last season and have been shocking. There was a point this season where you wondered are they ever going to win a game. So that's a foul from Grealish. Interesting that Grealish has come on, and I think apart from a couple of dribbles early when in the first 5 minutes when he came on, he's not really been involved. It's interesting. Kovac is coming on now. That's interesting. For Alvarez. Very interesting. It's a long ball. That's going to go straight out for a City throw. Which conveniently, Kyle Walker lets it go out of play miles away from him and then just goes over to the spare ball that's like miles away from where it went out and decides to take a throw, and then he's told by the referee, no, you can't take it from there. You've got to take it from further back. This makes a lot of sense. Wasn't bad. Kovacic with not a great ball. It's going to invite the Chelsea press here. But maybe that's what City want. I do wonder whether City have necessarily been that brave on the ball. Compared to Chelsea, Chelsea have been really brave on the ball when they tried to play out from the backs. City really haven't. They got to a certain point and then they're like, right, lump it up to Haaland or something like that. And there is an element of a less risk involved in that. But I think they've also kind of... That's not a foul, no. Oh, that's a lovely ball from Sterling. Jackson into Cole Palmer, into Mudryk. That's a terrible touch. Yeah, that's somewhat predictable. Mudryk. That's a nice... No, it's not. I was going to say, caught it on the half volley, did Gallagher, but it's just gone a bit over. And again, I think actually both left wingers for City and for Chelsea have come on and had a couple of bright minutes, but apart from that, not really done anything. Rodri has struggled. Akanji has struggled. Kovacic might provide a bit more kind of steel in that midfield, which is probably what they need right now, City, because they don't look like a team, and I think, but they always look like a team that can unlock a defence. There's nothing wrong with that side of things, but a lot of it's coming down this right hand side. Bernardo Silva has switched sides. He's an amazing player as well as Silva. The fact that he's able to do that, whereas he's gone over to the right hand side, is just as comfortable as playing on the left. And he's that kind of wandering. He's like a wandering eight, and he's basically been a playmaker now. He's got the ball by himself. No one's willing to challenge him because they know that he could unlock the press. Interesting tactics from Chelsea here. City having the ball, they want to try and keep it, obviously. That's a foul from Gallagher. And, I mean, to be fair, I think it's in Chelsea's interests to start a fight at this point because they need to make this a fight, I think, for these last 10 minutes or so. That's a lovely interception, that, but Foden almost got it, but he ends up getting the throw go Chelsea's way. I wonder if Chelsea would take a point at this point. They don't ever look like they settle for anything these days. That's definitely not the kind of team they look like at all. They look like a team who's absolutely willing to just throw the kitchen sink at everything. Now Jackson pushes his defender there, but the referee has played on Mudryk into Cucurella. Something's happened there. What's happened? Free kick to Chelsea. I don't know why you do that. Pochettino's been given a towel to dry off. That's the level of stardom that you have at Chelsea. Here's a towel. Here's a towel, boss. Which is probably already wet. Let's be fair. Well, if you were planning on enjoying the sunshine, I think you may have missed your window. Because it's absolutely tipping it down out there now. Ooh, Chelsea. Sanchez ends up lumping it long towards Sterling. That's offside. What are you doing, Sterling, there? You've got him on toast. Because what happened there was he got in behind, and then Guardiola just didn't get the ball. So Sterling would have been in. There you go. Sterling trying to get Kovacic. But Grealish has got the ball now on the left-hand side. Can he do something here? Trying to beat Gusto. That was not a good ball from Grealish. And Haaland shows his backside to everyone. It wasn't a good ball from Grealish. He's clearly looking for Haaland at the back post, but it's just a bit meh. And in a moment when I think a lot of things have happened in this game that you just don't expect. City being lacking in a few creative ideas, I think, is something you could actually probably say about this team now, because I just don't think they know how. They definitely haven't been able to unlock this Chelsea team at will like they did in the first half, and even then, in the first half, it was sporadic. It didn't happen all the time, and I've never seen City so defensively. What's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable especially on the transition. They've really struggled with that. So yeah, it is strange. It is very strange. Maybe just coming to Chelsea is now a very, very difficult game. I mean, Chelsea played Liverpool earlier this season, they drew. Played Arsenal earlier this season, they drew. Well, here's a nice chance. Kovacic, nope. And back to, that's gone in. Wow, Rodri with a deflected shot, and City have scored. And you wouldn't, you couldn't make it up. You could not make it up. You'd be absolutely crestfallen as a Chelsea fan. As an Arsenal fan, I'm crestfallen as well, because that's shocking. And you can't. I'm not even sure there's really bad defending here. Foden into and they're bouncing it around. That's fine. And Thiago Silva puts a boot out, and Rodri's shot deflects to the other side of the goal. Wow. That is a sickener for Chelsea. Absolute sickener. Rodri, and to be fair to Rodri, I don't really like him as a footballer, but like he pops up with important goals so often. It happens scarily often. Given that he's a defensive midfielder, he is often the one who will get forward, and he's easily, I think, the best defensive midfielder in the game right now. He's so good. But you've got to feel sorry for Chelsea. So Chelsea have given the ball away here. No, that's going to be goalkeepers. You've got to feel so sorry for Chelsea, because I think they've really done a great job since they got that goal back for about half an hour. I can't actually. When did they score that second goal? That third goal even. It was, yeah. So it was about 67 minutes. So for about 20 minutes, they've reduced City to looking pretty average, to be fair. And then they concede a goal like that. I wouldn't say they never look threatening, but they're definitely not playing up to City's normal standards at all. Now, I understand that I said yesterday that Wolves didn't play that well and they managed to beat Spurs, and everyone's like, oh, Wolves got what they deserved. They played really, really well. I was like, actually, they didn't. The reason why I said that was I was putting it in the context of Spurs were struggling with absentees, with injury and suspension. And you've got to think, surely you've got to test this lot a bit more than you have. Especially given the quality of opposition that you've already beaten this season, like City. Surely you can do that. Yeah, City are going to swarm all over this team now. I think they've definitely been lifted by that goal, and a lot of the good play. I mean, the part of the reason why I feel quite sorry for Chelsea is that they've bounced back from losing goals. What, 3 times this game? That's an interesting foul from Sterling. He's just barged into the defender there. Just very frustrated. I'd completely get it. Completely get it. I think I would be frustrated if I were a Chelsea fan. If I were a Chelsea player right now. I think you played so well for 90 minutes, taking the game to City, and you're not losing on a deflected goal like that. And to be fair, I think a lot of City fans were quite annoyed when Arsenal beat City, because they were like, they won on a deflected goal. They won on a deflected goal. But like, when you've got to set up the opportunity for that deflected goal to happen, though, to be fair. So, and Arsenal did that. They made sure that the game was really tight. Oh, Gallagher gets caught by Haaland. Ends up getting a foul. But I think Chelsea can be genuinely gutted. I think not having to go away with a defeat from this game, given how well they've played. And as I say, I don't think City have played that well. But and to be able to come back from behind, how many minutes? 8 minutes of added time. 8 minutes to try and rescue a point here for Chelsea. And yeah, is what it is. I think. Let's see if Chelsea can get back into this. They've got the ball on the halfway line with Sterling. Sterling's still going. It's just been crowded out there, though. It's got to be very careful here, though. Gvardiol's played that pretty well. Now to Grealish. And he's away, and that's going to be a foul against Gallagher. So that's what Grealish can do, and this is kind of what Pep would have brought him on for, is to slow the game down. And then just go slow, quick, slow. And what he got there, he did there. It's Guardiola being sarcastically appreciative of the fourth official there. Never seen that before. Um, he got the ball, slowed it down, popped it off to another player, ran in behind, took the ball back, and then got fouled. So exactly the kind of thing that you'd expect. Chelsea got to be careful here. That was nice though. Is that Cole Palmer playing at centre mid now? Gusto. Oh, he's actually opened up a bit of space for Sterling here. Here's a chance. Oh, that's a penalty. It is. No. It is. Is it a penalty? I don't know. This referee signalling shocking, but it might be a penalty to Chelsea here. I think Brozier has won a penalty for Chelsea. He gets the ball. It's a really nice ball in from Sterling. He fakes the shot, and I tell you what, that's a stonewall penalty. That can never, ever be stopped. Look, he goes for the shot. Diaz is already sliding, and he takes him out. Does that constitute? I suppose you can't. No, you can't send him off because he's already. It's not a denying of a goal scoring opportunity, but a late penalty for Chelsea. A late penalty. We've been here before, except with City, and the first goal of this game was a penalty that would have probably been seen as harsh against Chelsea. Well, they've been given one back. And to be fair, this is a stonewall penalty. I've never seen such a stonewall penalty. And the reason why it's stonewall is because Ruben Diaz is sliding on an already greasy pitch. He can't stop himself, and Brozier just gets taken out. Cole Palmer almost missed the penalty against Spurs, so he's got to be super careful. There's some yellow cards flying around here. I don't know why. Come on, guys. Carl Walker's now having a go at Disassi. Carl Walker needs to calm down here because I think he's already been booked. He's still going. Still going. Still going. Walker knows this is a big moment, I think. He's trying to delay the taking of the penalty as much as possible. But it's a big moment this for Cole Palmer. You think the goal against Spurs was big. This is another matter altogether. You're at home. You're playing City. Treble winners. You've got 4 minutes left of the game. A penalty to equalise and get a point for your club. Can he do it? He's just standing over the ball now, waiting for the ref. What must be going through that guy's head right now? Here we go. Palmer. He scores! And it's 4-4. What a game. What a game this has been. What an absolutely ridiculous game. And don't forget, we watched Wolves be 1-0 down with 6 minutes of injury time to go, and they scored twice. There are still 4 minutes left of this game. But I tell you what, Chelsea deserve this. They absolutely deserve at least a point here. I think if City had gone away with a win, they would have been absolutely chuffed, happy, yes, lucky, a little bit. I would say a fair bit. It's a great penalty as well from Palmer. Really, really good penalty. What a massive moment. With Cole Palmer, he's stepped up in the big moments, hasn't he? He scored the equaliser against Spurs, which set them on the way to winning that game. Scored the equaliser today. Ruben Diaz is surprised that he gave away the penalty. I don't know why you can be surprised, because the rule is the rule is what it is. It's not even a rule. It's just pretty clear. Jackson's come off for Ogachukwu. Wow, what a game! What a game! I mean, from a football point of view, from a tactical point of view, I don't know if there's a lot you can really take out of this. I think City's overlapping wingers, overlapping cams and wingers has actually that's been really nice to watch. To be fair, that's a good little tactical innovation. But I think apart from that, that's a foul. Nope. Oh dear. City are in here. Bernardo Silva sets up Foden. That gets absolutely taken out. That's going to be a free kick. Sterling gets the yellow card. I don't think he's happy with Foden here. Maybe it's a good job that Sterling's not going to the international team. Oh no, that's a foul. He gets the ball away, does Foden, and he gets absolutely taken out by Sterling. That was a bit of a shocking tackle. That was a you're not getting past us tackle. Definitely. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about before. I can't remember now. But yeah. Surely City can't score again. This is it's been a ridiculous game. What time are we on? Like 6:30. Gone past. Games do last like longer than an hour and a half now. Longer than 2 hours now. It used to be a normal game would take like what? An hour and 50 minutes, an hour and 55 minutes. Now it's like 2 hours, 2 hours, 5 minutes. And 2 hours is like your average time. That's why I set these streams to be like 2 hours, 2.5 hours long. Walker over this. Walker's going to take it. That's this terrible free kick. Wow. Why is Walker taking a free kick from there? There you go. I think is that game over? We've had 8 minutes of injury time, but I don't know if I love Pochettino is kind of telling people what to do. He's still got a pen in his hand. I don't know why he's holding a pen in his hand. Why like go over there, and there's a pen in my hand. I don't know why, but there's a pen in my hand. There you go. It's 4-4 between Chelsea and Man City, and Chelsea just playing the long balls. City, I think there will probably be another minute maybe, because we did spend quite a lot of time in injury time with waiting for that penalty. It was at least a minute or two. So we're looking at maybe it won't end until about like 100 minutes or so. 100-minute game. Bernardo Silva wellies it forward. Moves back to 1960s football. Disassi with a bit of a shanked clearance. He does clear out for a throw. City. And Carl Walker now has the ball on the far right, looking for the long ball, but not getting it. That's nice. Should be pretty straightforward. Surely Mudrik's not going to do anything there. No, he's going to give the ball away. I think Mudrik's had like 3. Oh dear, that's a terrible ball. Straight to Sterling in midfield. That's another foul. No, he got the ball, apparently. But yeah, Mudrik's had like 3 involvements in this game. One of which was actually pretty good because it led to one of the Chelsea goals. But the other 2, sorry. Is that full time? It is full time. What a breathless game. What an absolutely breathless. I could have watched that all day. That was really, really good. It was a fantastic game of football. Just out at the start. What's Pochettino complaining about here? He's not happy. He's marched onto the pitch and just like gone like this to the ref. Goodness me. There's a good little chin wag between Pochettino and Walker. But yeah, I would have absolutely loved watching that game. Amazing. I'll tell you what, Broja, well played. He came on, made a difference. Well, I say made a difference. He kind of occupied a position, which ended up getting fouled in. But I mean, how City had plenty of opportunities in this game to win. I think to take control and win the game, and they just weren't able to do it. I think a lot of that is down to the bravery and commitment of Chelsea. Because if Chelsea just gave up at some points, they could have been well within their opportunities to do that, because they were very much a second, I would say second best team overall before this game. But today I think they proved they're at least against these kind of teams, they're very, very good. And they're absolutely capable of doing damage against the big team. The problem Chelsea have, and we've said it before, said it plenty of times before, the problem they have is beating the teams lower down the table. Because if they start winning those games, I think you could see them challenge for top four. But City have dropped 2 points. And if we look at these stats, I haven't actually seen these stats. You've been watching them as the game's gone on. Possessions more or less stayed the same, 55% for City. Shots on target, about equal. Shots, about equal. Yeah, it all looks very, very similar. Corners equal. Only one offside the entire game. Chelsea must be thinking whether they played a completely different game on Monday when they played Spurs. But what a win. What a win for... I say a win, it was a draw. But it'll feel like a win, I think, for Chelsea. And yeah, so that is going to be it for today. As we were discussing earlier, I might add in a couple of streams for the Wales games that are happening over the international break. Definitely not the England games, because they're not worth watching. They're already qualified. There's no jeopardy involved in those games at all. Wales, though, need to basically pretty much win both of their last 2 games in order to qualify. So we will see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Draco, who's graciously got involved on the chat. And hopefully I'll see you next weekend for some more international football. And don't forget, we'll be back with the Premier League, watching some more Premier League football in a week. Oh, in 2 weeks' time. The first game back is City against Liverpool, which is a big game after what's happened here. A massive, massive game. Let's just check the table before we finish. City top with 28 points. Liverpool and Arsenal only 1 point behind them now. And Spurs only 2 points behind them. Imagine if Spurs had won against Wolves, they would have been top before the international break. What a shame. So, yeah, and then Villa are only 3 points behind City. I wonder if that table's up to date. No, it is up to date, yeah, because they've drawn. Yeah. Yeah, the Villa are 3 points off the top of the table. Just illustrates how good a season they've had. And Man United are only 7 points off the top. There you go. Well played, Chelsea. Really well played, Chelsea. Unlucky City, but then I think you probably got what you deserved, to be fair. I think Chelsea also got what they deserved. And we look forward to more Premier League football after the international break. Yeah, we'll see you later.